So welcome everyone once again back to the Wheelie Good Podcast. We're back again for yet another great day. But the question is the Tour de France over? Taylor?
Yes. End of podcast. No. It was the time trial. It was the second one of the race. Remco Evenepoel, of course, took the first, but it might be more difficult for him on this one. 10.9 kilometers. Up to Peyregude, a mountain time trial realistically. There was only a couple of kilometres of flat before the Peyregude climb, 8 kilometres, 8%.
Yep.
But right at the end, it steepens up to 16 on the Alta Port. And it was a big day for the GC because of it. And we saw the GC riders come to the fore. But to start off with, the early runner report. Luke Plapp destroyed Lennart Van Aertveldt's best time by over 2 minutes, and that was the early benchmark time, just under 25 minutes, 24.58 from Plapp, who I think actually would have been a really good pick on fantasy thinking about it.
Oh yeah.
Obviously it's like a in hindsight pick.
Yeah.
But he paced that time trial last time so badly, and he seemed to get it right exactly on. In this time trial, because riders could not come close in the middle order. Lenny Martinez came somewhat close early on, went 23 seconds slower than Plapp and moved into second. But more and more riders were missing out on the time. Matteo Jorgensen was up on the early time checks, but Plapp pulled it back towards the end. Adam Yates couldn't get there. Simon Yates couldn't get there. Sepp Kuss couldn't get there. And Plapp was in the hot seat for a long time.
He was. He even had his suitcase and a laptop and everything. He had to pack up when he had to leave. But there was also a lot of questions going around before the stage. TT bikes or normal bikes? And we saw some different takes on it. We saw Tadej Pogacar taking the normal bike. We saw Vingegaard taking the TT bike. We saw Roglic as well, Remco, Lipowitz, just to name a few, take the TT bike. And I mean, the thing is though, when you take the TT bike, on the flat part you should be faster. They weren't faster than Pogacar on the flat on his road bike. I was like, let's just 1-2 seconds. Nope, he's 10 seconds faster than everyone on the first time check. So, do you think that? Well, I'm pretty sure that he mentioned afterward that it was purely just a comfort thing that he took the road bike. Do you think he could have gone faster if he took the TT bike?
Well, I think what you saw was some Frankenstein style setups because they weren't full out TT bikes with the disc wheel and stuff, but they had TT bars, I think, attached to the road bike, which I guess is more aero. And I think we found that because, to put into context some of the results, Florian Lipowitz was the first rider that beat Luke Plapp's time, admittedly only by 2 seconds after he was up quite a lot in the early time check. So again, good to see Plapp pacing it a lot better than the last time trial. But Lipowitz unseated him, not for very long. Actually, it was Roglic, of course, who was behind Lipowitz on the GC, that unseated Plapp. Lipowitz went 36 seconds slower than Roglic, but finished fourth on the day. So Red Bull Bora Hansgrohe, with the time trial bars, showed that you can do a good time.
Yep.
I think, the Frankenstein setups were weird, but did it really matter too much? I think for some riders it worked, for some riders it clearly didn't, and I'm sure we'll get to that. But I don't think there was that much of a difference between the two setups, and I think it was more kind of personal preference and what you'd been working on for the year heading up to this time trial.
I was just hoping that Tadej had just gone too fast at the start and just didn't enough for the climb. That wasn't the case. That was not the case.
Indeed so, because then you had the top 5 favourites go, and Kevin Vorkaland did an okay time. It didn't pull up any trees really. He was 2 minutes 35 down on the eventual stage winner. But he was ahead of somebody very important. Florian Lipowitz, of course, was fourth. And then off the ramp set Remco Evenepoel, the arguable favourite that wasn't Tadej Pogacar for today's stage. Based on his time trialling ability, he had the time trial bars, and he had a shocker.
He did. I'm not sure. At least on the final part, it seemed like there was something with the gears because he kept looking back at his gears. But even so, on the times check, like the earlier time checks, he still wasn't doing like fantastic. So I think it's a mix of. He also mentioned himself that he had a bad day again. I think in an interview afterwards. I think it's a mix of both, honestly, because he definitely underperformed massively.
Yeah, he was second quickest at the first time check, only behind the eventual stage winner. Then at the second time check, he dropped to 5th. And then at the third time check, he dropped all the way to 12th. So I think that indicates a major blow-up at the end.
Yeah.
And what else indicated a major blow-up at the end was that Jonas Vingegaard had overtaken him on the road. They were at 2-minute intervals.
Yeah.
And Vingegaard overtook Remco Evenepoel just before the line. So Evenepoel finished 12th on 2 minutes 39 down. But Jonas Vingegaard's effort was only good enough for second because Tadej Pogacar in 23 minutes flat does the 11-kilometer time trial, 36 seconds clear of Jonas Vingegaard. How do you assess what?
It's just insane at this point. I mean, even Jonas mentioned himself in the interview afterwards that those were probably his best numbers. So at this point, you just gotta give up to Tadej. Like, he's just that much better. Like, the amount of Vingegaard is better than everyone else. He is better than Vingegaard, which is just insane. And I saw in the interview afterwards that he looked more relaxed at this point, I think. Also, because he's had the 2 bad days, which he mentioned he usually doesn't have bad days. But he's had 2 bad days, and now he's actually performed at the level where he wants to be, and still could beat him. So at this point, he's just sort of like, I would assume, I've done what I could. He's just that much better. And he just, I would assume, doesn't have as much pressure at this point, because he knows that everyone knows he's that good. And he's done the best numbers he can do. So I feel like we'll almost see a more relaxed Jonas Vingegaard from now on.
Yeah, these times now mean that the general classification is once again widening between the top 3.
Yeah.
And a positive for Visma Lease Bike and Jonas Vingegaard, I think, is that over the last 2 stages, they've cemented that second place.
Oh, yes.
And they have comfortably dropped Remco Evenepoel and the rest of the pack now. So Jonas can kind of focus on finishing second and hoping for a mistake from Pogacar.
Yeah, I'm assuming he's still going to go for, to try and battle Pogacar. What else to do? I mean, maybe for a stage win, of course. I don't think I think Visma's still going to try, since there were still a lot of stages left, some tactics and see if they can do anything. I don't think they really all just give up. I mean, we saw in the Giro what happened there. Although this is a different breed, of course, I know. But they don't really give up, and I think they'll still go for it, but maybe more so for a potential stage win rather than time.
Yeah, I think dropping Remco and those guys as well has now given them a bit more freedom to really attack without the fear of losing excessive time and your position in the GC. So to summarise, general classification is now Pogacar leading by 4 minutes and 7 seconds on Jonas Vingegaard in second, 7 minutes 24 to Remco in third, and this is where the battle is heating up. Roglic's very good time on the previous stage, the third place that he got in the time trial, moves him to 7th, 8 minutes and 50 seconds down on Pogacar, but within 35 seconds of Kevin Vauquelin above him. Then 4 seconds separate Vauquelin and Onley, who's on 8 minutes 11 in 5th, and then Florian Lipovitz 6:41 seconds ahead of Oscar Onley, with Remco Evenepoel only 6 seconds clear of Lipovitz in third. It is a very tight battle for P3, and one that I'm going to enjoy watching.
Especially today with this mountain stage, that's going to be crazy. Do you think now, though, Jorgensen's basically out of the GC? Will they go for stage wins with him? Or they're going to keep him as like a domestique?
I feel like it might be a domestique job. Certainly for the next couple of days, I think, to see how Pogacar reacts, I think. Maybe in the third week when they've totally cleared everybody else and they've seen that Pogacar is just on a different level to Jonas consistently, then Jorgensen, I think, will be allowed to stage hunt third week. But I think, the big mountain stage today is gonna probably be a good yardstick for where Vingegaard against Pogacar is and where the likes of Yates, Kuss, Jorgensen, etc. can go for stages.
Yeah. Are we going to end up seeing a Vingegaard being 8 minutes down and going for stage wins?
Just being allowed in the break.
Yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
Yes, rounding out the top 10, Johannesson 8th, 10 minutes and 36 down, slightly distanced now from this top 3 battle. Felix Gall in 9th will be battling Tobias Johannesson, I think, on the road, and Jorgensen at 10th, 14 minutes and 15 seconds down. Interestingly enough, because there was an increase to the time cut, it's 40% when it usually is 33%. That meant a couple of riders just about got away with staying within the time limit. So if it was a 33% time limit as normal, you would have had 6 riders be put outside the time limit on a time trial by Tadej Pogacar. And those 6 riders were Luka Mesgets, Elmar Reinders, Arnaud Demar, Mauro Schmid, Biniam Girmay, and Tim Merlier, which would have been huge for the green jersey and the sprinters battle.
Do you know why that changed? Is it just because... Did it change mid-time trial, or...?
It was just before the start, and I think it changed because the sprinter section of the CPA, which is the group of pro cyclists that lobbies for things to change. So, for example, extreme weather protocols and stages being cut short or whatever. Seemingly the sprinter department of that lobbied for a larger time cut so that they could get through the stage. And actually you saw Biniam Girmay high-fiving fans on the side of the road as he crossed the line, and it would have been slightly humorous if quite unfortunate for Biniam Girmay to have abandoned because he was high-fiving fans on the side of the road.
That would have been pretty funny, can't I?
Either way, that means that the green jersey battle retains. Jonathan Milan did it a decent time actually for a sprinter on a mountain time trial, but he retains his lead on 231. Pogacar's time trial win pulls him within 28 points of Jonathan Milan at the top of the green jersey standings. Mathieu Van Der Poel third on 173. Pogacar has this green jersey locked, I fear.
He's getting every single jersey aside from the white, isn't he? Oh, man. He's going to go for the combativity next. Oh, my God.
Mathieu Van Der Poel, third on 173. Girmay on 154 and Merlier on 150. Jonas Vingegaard actually sixth on 120.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon he could certainly overtake Merlier. Maybe not Girmay.
Vingegaard goes for the easiest sprint. From now on, don't get the green jersey. Oh yeah,
get him in the breakaway.
Get him up there.
And there were points given out for the mountains classification on top of the Peyregoud climb. The top 6 took home points, and a rider that finished just outside the top 6 in 9th was Lenny Martinez on the day, so he picked up no points. Tadej Pogacar, of course, won the stage and moved himself into the Junior Mountains jersey lead, now with a 10-point advantage on Lenny Martinez. They were equal going into the stage. And Jonas Vingegaard is now equal with Lenny Martinez in the King of the Mountain standings in third, with Woods 5 points behind Jonas in fourth. Can Lenny retake the jersey on the next stage?
I mean, there are a lot of points to be gained, but we saw him on the previous mountain stage. He wasn't really having it with his legs. Maybe after today's time trial, he's feeling a little bit better. We can hope, but he's not looking too great, is he now?
No, I fear that Tadej Pogacar's got this one in the bag as well.
Yeah. Oh, man.
One jersey that Pogacar cannot have in the bag because he is quite simply prohibited is the white jersey, which is looking like the best white jersey battle we've had for many a year, because Remco Evenepoel leads it 6 seconds ahead of Lipovitz, 47 ahead of Onley, 51 ahead of Kevin Vauquelin in 4th, and then Ben Healy's out of the picture in 5th. But the top 4, this could be a titanic battle for the rest of the Tour de France. And I think this is the area of entertainment in the general classification.
Indeed. My pick is coming into play, but I'm telling you, top 3, white jersey, it's happening. Get it home. Get it home, Lewis.
And speaking of Florian Lipowitz,
yes,
it's time to look at fantasy.
Ooh.
Because I have made a change.
Oh, wait a minute. A change?
Jonathan Milan is out ahead of the time trial. And I put in Florian Lipowitz.
Ooh.
And he got me 173 points on the day. Remco Evenepoel with the stage winner bonus. Terrible time. Got me 153. Jonas Vingegaard got me 241. And Martinez got me 86.
Nice.
The rest of my guys got minor points. Johannesson on 2, Steins on 3, Velasco on 13, and Paripantra on 16 for a total of 755. How did you do?
That's pretty good. I think I did a little bit better because I captained Vingegaard. Of course, I also have Pogacar in the team, but that's a minor point. Lenny Martinez as well. The rest. Oh no, I also Lewis. Actually, I forgot. So, Johannesson, Rickard, Wright, Castillo, just all right there. But Vingegaard, Pogacar, Martinez, and Lewis getting me some good points all the way up to 981, and I'm officially 13th in the league. 13th. Oh, I'm coming for the top spot. But the only thing that's going to let me down is I will not captain Pogacar. I will not captain him. It's not happening, okay? I'm sticking to my guts.
Well, I may not be. I have accidentally captained Remco Evenepoel for today. I forgot to change it to Jonas. Which is going to be a worry because I fear that Remco might be in trouble.
I think Fred Wright might be in a breakaway. He's got 4 points, and I think the stage just started.
Yes, Wright's in a breakaway. Jonathan Milan's tried going in a breakaway as well, which is still battling. They're still battling. Yeah. They are like 30 kilometers in. As we're recording this. But what would you rate the time trial out of 10?
I just purely based off of the shot with Vingegaard coming up behind Remco on the steep part, just attacking through it. I think, well, it also was as expected, I guess. So, like a 7.5. I think because I like Vingegaard doing well. I think.
Yeah, I'd say 7.5 as well. Roglic coming back from the dead was a pretty good storyline. The closeness now of the white jersey because of Remco's slip up. That's a nice little narrative. But I think Pogacar winning it kind of took away a couple of points.
Yeah.
And he kind of had it in the bag from the moment he went down the start ramp.
Yeah. If Vingegaard had won that could have been... I couldn't have got a little bit higher, like an 8.5 maybe even a 9. But yeah, the Pogacar one.
Exactly, yeah. And I think the lack of jeopardy regarding like Plapp's time, you just kind of knew that even though Jorgensen couldn't do it and some of the like outsider guys couldn't do it, you were just like, yep, you're going to concede it to any of the GC guys that are about to set off. And I think Plapp knew that as well. Had the suitcase ready to pack up and leave.
Yeah, it was so good. It was
the one time I actually saw him on the hot seat as well. Usually they'd like react to riders coming in close, but they didn't even show him. They just showed him packing up and leaving.
Yeah, it was so good. But
we mentioned...
no, go on.
No, you go.
Oh, I was about to say, for today's stage, a big mountain stage, the biggest mountain stage so far. We got Col du Tourmalet, the steep ascent of the climb, almost 19 kilometers, and it was at 7.4%, and the intermediate sprint is at the almost bottom, a little like on the climb for some reason. Where this technically would be a Vingegaard type stage because it's really hard. And, usually the harder the better, but at this point, I don't really know. How do you see this one going?
Well, if I consult my document from the preview podcast,
yes,
I went for Jonas Vingegaard on this stage.
Right.
I think I'm going to overturn my decision.
No.
Yeah, Tadej Pogacar up Luchon Superbanière, 12.6 kilometers, 7.5%. It's kind of similar to Autocam, but after a much harder set of mountains. The Col de Périssord, 7.1 kilometers, 8.1%, and the Col d'Aspan. It's going to be a big day for the mountains classification. 2 HC climbs, a Category 2 and a Category 1 on the road, so expect to see Lenny Martinez up there. But I think if it does go to a breakaway, I had Felix Gall, but actually I think he's too close in the general classification to kind of be allowed by the likes of Remco, Onley, and riders like that. So if I'm looking at it, it might be a slightly weaker breakaway than you might see in the final week or so, when the likes of Gall or Mas or those kind of guys are fully out of the picture.
Yeah.
So in the end, I'm kind of looking at people like, I don't know, maybe a couple of the flat guys will make it into the break because it's flat roads early on. Somebody like maybe Anders Harland Johannesson could get in the breakaway to be of service for a teammate. Yeah. Or like a Ben O'Connor, I think.
Good shout. You think one of them is going to go to a breakaway or not?
I think it's not, to be honest with you.
No.
I kind of live in hope that it might, but Pogacar is talking, and rightly so. He wants to win every stage he possibly can for the rest of this tour.
Oh God.
So,
oh no.
Basically, that means if you're a breakaway rider, you are going to have to be working as a team to try and keep away from the UAE Team Emirates trade. Nils Pollitt might be one of your least favourite people in the peloton by the end of this Tour de France.
Yeah.
And so will Tadej Pogacar. But I like the way he thinks, and you've got to think like that if you want to be a true champion.
Exactly. I'm seeing this going one way. We got Vismagas in the breakaway. Col de Tourmalet. Vingegaard attacks over the top. Down the descent. They carry him on. He's got 3 minutes until the Col d'Aspin. And and he gets 5 minutes.
Better take my head away from my hands in case this actually happens.
You heard it here first. If this happens, I need an apology from every single person on this entire planet.
And I'll go for Tadej Pogacar then. Thank you very much for using your Danish nationalism to pick the rider that probably won't win the stage.
No worries.
So Pogacar for me, Jonas Vingegaard for Lucas, and I expect fireworks on a stage like this.
Yes. What do you expect the rating to be this stage? If we do it this time. Yeah. What do you expect it?
Queen stage of the race. The next stage up is a breakaway stage on flatter roads. So this is the last chance in the second week to gain in the mountains. It kind of all depends on the third place battle, I think. If that's on fire and those guys are purely looking at each other and you've got Jonas against Tadej up the road and then like this third place battle, that might be similar to like a breakaway win plus a GC battle, if you get what I mean. Where you've got 2 separate races on the road that you're kind of trying to keep up with both of them. So this has potential to be a 10. It also kind of has potential for Pogacar to attack it from the foot again and the whole of the third place battle to look at each other and for it to be a 5. But I'll go somewhere in between and go like an 8.
I'm hoping for like an early attack between the top 3 candidates, and Vingegaard and Tadej just sort of letting go and looking at each other, and then the top 3 up in front, and we see that, and then Vingegaard Pogacar behind. That's what I'm hoping for, maybe like the category 1, but yeah, I'm assuming like an 8. I'm hoping an 8 at least. Otherwise, I'll be very disappointed. But I'm hoping for a good stage anyways.
And we will see how that will happen. I've just got the news through that Steph Kras has abandoned the race. He didn't look too great in the time trial. And he probably actually would have been a good shout for today's stage for a breakaway. But there we are. I will, I don't know why you do the outro. You do the outro. I was going to say I will send it over.
Yeah, they're sending over to me to like and subscribe and also give us 5 stars. Only 6 people are giving us 5 stars on Spotify. Give us 5 stars on Spotify, please. See, why do you give me the outro?
Like, subscribe, do all that jazz. And we'll see you very shortly for the next pod.
Bye.